Right now, on to the point. Wildfires burning in El Dorado County, forcing evacuations, all as firefighters face challenging conditions.
Hot, dry, and gusty conditions. How long these fire threats are expected to last.
Plus, St. Hope Public Schools accused of major violations. Tonight, what their leadership has to say, and what could this all mean for the future of the charter schools? And later, high energy bills. Is the state further addressing the issue?
Good evening. As always, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we start tonight by tracking the Crozier fire out in El Dorado County. The fire is burning north of Placerville. Tonight, CAL FIRE says it's burned more than 180 acres and is about 5% contained. Evacuation orders are in effect for parts of the Mosquito, Swansboro community, and residents have been asked to leave via Rock Creek Road. Evacuation warnings are also in place. And ABC 10's Alicia Machado has been in the area all day. She joins us with more tonight from Placerville.
Crews continue to work together to get the Crozier fire under control. We are out here at the El Dorado County Fairgrounds, which have become a command post for crews as they manage which resources will go to that fire. CAL FIRE says they are working with the U.S. Forest Service and local departments, including firefighters from Sacramento. The fire line is far out into the forest, but there are still homes in this community that have been told to evacuate.
We've been really hitting the flanks hard and trying to find an anchor point. It's pretty hard access out there, pretty far out into the forest. So just getting crews to the fire line is taking a long time.
The cause of the fire is still under investigations. We're told no structures have been damaged and no injuries reported. We're also told that there have been no arrests made in connection to this fire. In Placerville, Alicia Machado, ABC 10.
All right, Alicia, thank you. We're also monitoring the Silver Fire in El Dorado County. It sparked this afternoon along Green Valley Road, just north of Cameron Park. CAL FIRE says it burned 37 acres and the fire has been stopped. All evacuation orders have been downgraded to warnings. And tonight in the Park Fire, evacuation orders remain in effect for parts of Tehama and Butte County. The Park Fire has now passed 422,000 acres burned. It is the fourth largest wildfire in state history. CAL FIRE says it's 34% contained. And I want to get over to meteorologist Carly Gomez. She is tracking our ongoing wildfire conditions tonight.
Yeah, we've been looking at a lot of fires across the region. That Park Fire, the biggest, the fourth in California history. You see the smoke moving to the northeast, very similar to the Silver Fire there and the Crozier Fire that's moving to the northeast as well with that smoke. In the overnight hours, we do anticipate seeing some of that retreating back toward the foothills and then eventually back out into our Thursday afternoon. But by Friday, a lot of Northern California will see a cycle of smoke and haze across the area. So please be ready for that. Moderate air quality is expected. Most areas should see good air quality at least through Friday, as we'll see a lot of that wind blowing through the Delta, at least for these valley spots. But humidity has been very low, especially where the fires are burning right now, down to the single digits, 8% now. But earlier today, we were down to as much as 5% for some zones. And now we're up to about 15 to 30% in the valley. As we look at the winds here, about 10-mile-per-hour winds to 15 up and down those valley spots, with the stronger wind gusts pushing through the Delta here, about 20 to 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Luckily for those flames up in the foothills, we are seeing lighter winds. That's the good news. Mid-60s into the early morning hours, 98 for the high. We'll talk more about a cool down headed our way.
And don't forget, you can stay up to date with our wildfire conditions and the latest on evacuation orders with our free ABC 10 app. All right, now to one of our other top stories that we've been following tonight. It has to do with teacher credential issues, conflict of interest, and financial mismanagement. Those were concerns raised in a report from the Sacramento City Unified School District looking into St. Hope Public Schools, which has 2 charter schools with the district. Tonight, ABC 10's Becca Habegger sits down with St. Hope leaders who say the report mischaracterizes what's going on.
What's up?
Students returned to St. Hope Public Schools Wednesday. Sacramento High School and St. Hope PS7 are charter schools in the Sacramento City Unified School District.
Anybody who's remotely familiar with the Oak Park community, St. Hope is a presence.
Lisa Ruda is St. Hope Public School Superintendent. Her office is lined with smiling faces of students, but she faces a grim reality as the Sacramento City Unified School District Superintendent sent St. Hope a letter late last month informing them a report by a third-party auditor raises concerns. This coming as St. Hope is going through the process of renewing its charter with Sac City Unified for another 5 years. Though Ruda, along with St. Hope Public Schools Board Chair chair, Cassandra Jennings, assure parents and students the current charter extends through June of next year.
The charter is in place this school year. Expect no changes whatsoever.
The report and letter claim possible conflicts of interest, including that Jennings, a longtime Sacramento community advocate, serves both as the board chair and as the CEO of St. Hope Academy, a nonprofit that provides services to St. Hope Public Schools through contracts.
It gets personal when they call your name out. Before I even decided to take the role of the chair of the board or to be on the board, we had an attorney opinion and we scrutinized it pretty much because we don't want to do anything that's illegal.
They stand by the opinion of St. Hope's attorney that the overlapping roles are okay as long as proper procedures are followed, Jennings says. She follows those like recusing herself from board decisions related to St. Hope Academy. The report also alleges financial disorganization, including fiscal irregularities, lack of internal controls, and lack of generally accepted accounting principles compliant procedures. The district is giving St. Hope a chance to address these concerns before a decision is made on whether to renew the charter. A response is due August 26th.
All right, and Becca Halbegger has been following all of this for us. Becca, I got to ask you, what happens if the district rejects St. Hope's charter renewal request? Where do things go from there?
Well, you know, St. Hope's superintendent tells me that they can appeal to the Sacramento County Office of Education and even to the State Department of Education. Of course, they hope it doesn't come to that. They want to work with the district and get their charter renewed by July 1st of next year. Now, Sac City Schools sent us a statement about this audit today. It says, in part, concerns about St. Hope Public Schools were brought forward by various community groups to the Sacramento Unified School District. As a result, the district ordered an investigation and audit. And, quote, the district is hopeful that St. Hope will implement with fidelity all necessary corrective actions to address the identified concerns so that it may bring its operations into compliance for purposes of charter renewal.
All right, we know that the community obviously raising their voice. They're concerned about this issue, so we will continue to follow this for them, and we will bring you updates as we get them. Becca, thank you so much. All right, tonight, Sacramento police are looking for a suspect involved in a shooting this afternoon. It happened on 27th Street. Police say a man was found with a single gunshot wound and was taken to the hospital. Officers tell us that witnesses saw the suspect drive away. It's not clear what led up to the shooting. And new tonight, the Placer County Sheriff's Office says that 2 people have been arrested in connection to a burglary last month at a Newcastle gun store. You might remember this, actually. It happened at Foothill Firearms back on July 22nd. Investigators say 39-year-old Tyrone Brennan used a power-cutting tool to cut a hole in the side of a business, and he took 73 guns. They say 41-year-old Loren Bingham was believed to be the lookout and getaway driver, and a third person, Richard Nazenzo, was found in possession of one of the stolen guns. And the sheriff's office says all 3 are convicted felons and are being held in the Placer County Jail. New tonight, Vince Covino, the CEO of SeaQuest, has stepped down. The popular Folsom Aquarium and Zoo has been the focus of multiple investigative stories by Andy Judson, who joins us live tonight with some updates.
Yeah, Alex, in a video to employees that was provided to ABC 10, Covino made the announcement he'll be leaving SeaQuest to run a new company, but he did not name the business he'll be heading to. Now, sources tell us that SeaQuest's current CFO, who has a background in accounting, not animals, will be taking over.
And it was hard not to contain my emotions. I have so much love, and I've been through so many difficult things as we've had our fair share of challenges. Some of those I brought upon myself through just mistakes, but as you know, always doing my best. I'm thrilled with the direction this company's moving going forward.
And ABC 10 reached out to SeaQuest about Covino's departure. We have yet to hear back. And I'll be following the developments on this story, including a request from Assemblymember Josh Hoover, who represents the Folsom area, to have the California Department of Fish and Wildlife further investigate SeaQuest and bring you new details as they become available. In the meantime, you can watch our full investigation into SeaQuest right now on abc10.com. Alex.
All right, Andy, thank you so much. We still have a lot to get to ahead. So coming up next on To the Point, the presidential race taking over the Midwest today. The states they find crucial for winning in November. Plus, could you soon see cuts to your electric rates? What the state is considering right now. All right, we are back with meteorologist Carly Gomez taking a look at our forecast. Another hot day. I was telling Carly, I tried to get in my car, almost burned my legs off.
Yeah,
because it was so hot.
It is so hot. Today, definitely the hottest day of the week with temperatures in the triple digits. We saw that yesterday, but we're seeing temperatures today 100 to about 106 degrees in the valley, 106 in Oroville, 105 in Marysville. Now, Sacramento Executive Airport hit 100. But downtown, we got to about 104, 105 Stockton and Modesto with triple-digit heat in the foothills, 88 in Truckee, 86 South Lake Tahoe. Now, throughout at least the end of our work week and just briefly into the weekend, we're still looking at hot, dry, and gusty conditions. That's going to elevate our fire concerns, of course, just like we saw today, a couple of breakout fires happening. We may see that again, unfortunately, as we see the gusty winds continue through our evening hours. But cooler temperatures are expected to return next week. But we're going to have to wait a little bit longer as we get from Sunday to Monday for temperatures to drop into the low 90s, which is just slightly below average for this time of year. High pressure system in place just off the Pacific Northwest there, and that's leading to dry weather for us, but also gusty conditions coming in through the Delta. So our humidity is pretty low at this point in time, down to even single digits for some areas, making anything that burns just go up into flames extremely fast. So that, of course, is the concern, along with winds pushing through those Delta spots into our evening hours. Now, with the smoke that's been coming in off of the Silver and Crozier fire, now we are looking at that pushing back down into those valley spots, moderate to about sensitive air quality there for some groups in that orange as we continue to see some of that air quality in and out of our region. Now, looking at our futurecast winds, still about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts through your Thursday evening and again for your Friday. But foothill spots still looking at temperatures pushing the upper 90s to maybe triple digits tomorrow. Overnight lows upper 60s, low 70s. Bay Area in the mid 60s to low 70s with about 94 degrees in Vacaville. The Sacramento and San Joaquin Valley spots about upper 90s, but we're still looking at a few areas that may see triple digits again tomorrow. Upper 90s continue through at least Saturday before low 90s arrive on Sunday.
All right, Carly, thank you so much. Next, on to the point, the race for the White House. Why campaigning is taking over the Midwest. Plus, could you soon see the reduction in your electric bill? We'll have some new legislation that could be introduced soon. Tonight in the race for the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate holding dueling rallies in the must-win state of Wisconsin today with former President Trump's VP nominee, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. And both campaigns are hoping their tickets can attract key voters in Rust Belt swing states.
The battle for the Midwest is on. Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, on the campaign trail today in Wisconsin.
Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And with your help, we will win in November. We are going to win.
Walz, a popular Midwestern governor, former teacher and football coach, trying to extend that appeal to voters in several must-win Rust Belt states.
I couldn't be prouder to be on this ticket to help make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States.
And quickly embracing his role as the campaign's pit bull, going on the offense against former President Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance.
This guy weakens our country to strengthen his own hands.
Vance campaigning just miles away in the same Wisconsin town.
First, I want to say how great it is to be here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Raised in rural Ohio with deep family roots in Appalachia, the senator hoping his personal story of rising from poverty will resonate with Rust Belt voters. At an event in Michigan, another crucial Midwestern state, Vance responding to Walz, who said his Ivy League education and connections to Silicon Valley distance him from the heartland.
I grew up in a poor family. The fact that Tim Walz wants to turn it into a bad thing, that I actually worked myself through college, through law school, and made something myself. To me, that's the American dream.
All right. In an interview today with Fox News, former President Donald Trump committed to debating Vice President Harris, but seemed to waver on participating in the debate he initially committed to have with President Biden, hosted by ABC News in September. And tonight, questions do continue about Kamala Harris's running mate, Governor Tim Walz. We looked into the 60-year-old's background as governor, and here are some things that we found. Over his last 2 terms, Walz worked with lawmakers to use a huge budget surplus. They eliminated nearly all state abortion abortion restrictions, protected gender-affirming care, added a paid family and medical leave program, and funded free school meals for all children. But Walz has faced plenty of criticism. Minnesota had one of the largest pandemic aid fraud cases, costing $250 million, and it was all under his watch. A nonpartisan watchdog group found Walz's Department of Education failed to act on warning signs to prevent fraud. And the Federal Communications Commission voted today to create a new alert code to help save missing and endangered persons. The code comes after more than 180,000 people went missing last year who fell outside of the criteria for Amber Alerts. The FCC says the new alert will be particularly beneficial to tribal communities where American Indians and Alaska Natives are at a disproportionate risk of violence, murder, or vanishing, as well as Black communities. You already know it's time to get your price points tonight. Questions are circulating about whether Governor Gavin Newsom will introduce legislation to curb PG&E spending and lower electric rates. ABC 10's Evan Truby has been tracking this story and has more details tonight on a possible proposal.
With about 3 weeks left in this session, energy advocacy groups confirm they met to discuss Newsom introducing legislation to lower energy bills.
PG&E recording record profit. We're experiencing record bills.
Mark Toney with Turn, an energy advocacy group, says he's been in briefings about the legislation and expects to see something in writing by next week. He would not comment on the discussions, but he and other advocacy groups wrote a letter asking for energy efficiency programs not to be cut.
No limits on how much the utilities can ask for or how many times a year, and there are no limits to how much the Public Utilities Commission can grant in a rate increase.
Like this year, when PG&E bills jumped 30%. Customer advocates agree utility companies like PG&E need their spending curbed. Former California PUC President Loretta Lynch says you don't need legislation to do this. The governor appoints CPUC. Lynch says the governor could simply appoint regulators.
The scuttlebutt is that they're going to save $1 billion. Just last week, the PUC authorized $1.2 billion in extra costs for the Oakland headquarters move of just PG&E.
Wildfire mitigation, also a pricey project, could be reduced.
The PUC allowed PG&E to underground over 1,300 miles of transmission lines at a cost of over $6 million a line, when a just as safe alternative exists, which is covering the conductor, and that only costs $300,000 to $600,000 a mile.
We reached out to Governor Newsom's office, who says they have nothing to share at this time. PG&E also did not respond to our request. ABC 10 called multiple members of the Senate Energy Utilities Committee. None had heard about the proposed changes.
And energy advocacy groups say we could see an actual proposal by the end of this week or early next week. This will have to happen in a 3-week time period to make the end of the legislative session. All right, now to Costco, who says it will soon require people to scan their membership cards in order to enter the warehouse store. The company says in the coming months, card scanners will be installed at the store entrances. Once activated, all members will be required to scan their physical or digital membership card before entering. The move comes after the company announced it would increase the price of membership starting September 1st. The date of when those scanners will be installed is still unclear, but we'll keep you updated. And the U.S. Postal Service will raise the price of stamps yet again. It's the second increase this year, starting on July 14th. The cost of first-class Forever stamps will be 73 cents. That's a 7% increase from its current price of 68 cents. Still ahead, the largest dam removal project in the world happening at our state line, causing years of controversy. The world's largest dam removal project happening right now is ahead of schedule. The corporation in charge of the project expects all 4 dams on the Klamath River to be removed by end of August or mid-September of this year. Once removed, more than 400 miles of native salmon habitat will be restored at the California-Oregon state line. And the dam removals project has taken decades to approve. It has caused controversy and tensions between Native American tribes and residents along the Klamath River.
It isn't that we haven't been heard. They've heard us. They've just flat out ignored us.
We are not divided. We are bound by the river, right? And I want to believe that when the river heals itself, that we as humans will also feel that healing.
The hydroelectric dams are above tribal lands and slowed down water in the Klamath River and impacted native species. ABC 10's John Bartel has been following the dam's removal process for over a year now. In part 2 of his investigation, he looks at the misinformation that is confusing and dividing Klamath River communities. You can watch it tomorrow right here at 6:30 on To The Point, and you do not want to miss it. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have something you think we should be looking into, make sure to reach out to me and the team. And remember, strangers are people we just haven't gotten the chance to meet yet, so take the time to get to know someone. Have a great night, and I'll see you right back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.